Hi. Welcome back to It's Your Life by the Grace of God. Um, my name's Emma. I don't know if this is, hopefully you've been watching this for a while. If not, my name is Emma. And I've been going through a series trying to understand the chapter of the Proverbs 31 woman. I am at the end of the last four verses. So after these four last verses, I'm done with the chapter, which I'm glad. I like, good, now I can move on to other things. But I've been going through them with every reading three scriptures at a time. And trying to see what we can find out, what information or what it was trying to tell us as we went through each scripture through three different versions. Okay, so that's what we've been doing. Well, that's what I've been doing from the start, and now we're on the last four. So I'm just going to jump right into it because it's a little bit more that I want to talk to you about towards at the end of these last verses. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and start reading them. So again, we're on the last four, and the last four were 28 to 31. Okay, so the King James Version, it starts with 28. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. Charm is deceitful and beauty is passing. But a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. 31. Give her the fruits of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. Now the next one is the NIV version, the New International Version. 28. Her children arise and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Again, those are the same. The two sentences, the two first sentences are the same. Many women do noble things. That's the one that's a little bit different. But you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. That's the same. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring praise at the city gates. Okay, now the New Living Translation. Her children stand and bless her. Her husband praises her. There are many virtuous and capable women in the world, but you suppress them all. Though I think it's just that 1/3 sentence that in all of them they're all different. Verse 30. Charm is deceptive and beauty does not last, but a woman who fears the Lord will be greatly praised. 31. Reward her for all she has done. Let her deeds publicly declare her praise. Okay, so those are the last four. And what I got, there wasn't really anything that really hit me as I was looking through what word would pop out at me, and maybe I'd want to look into it further. There wasn't really anything in those four verses. I mean, as far as her children rising up and calling her blessed, that's sweet. To me, it's a noble thing. And of course, her husband sees all that she does, and of course, he praises her for all that. Many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. That one, I like how he says many daughters. That's about it. It figures that you have all these daughters who I guess they listen to their mothers and they follow what they do, but as far as the word daughters goes, I feel like he's calling us his daughters, the daughters of God. So I kind of feel touched by that. All daughters have done well, but you excel them all. In other words, you go beyond the call of duty. Let's say it that way. You take it a step further. And of course, charm is deceitful and beauty is fancy, and we all know what that means. We all know. You can always say something that you really don't mean, just to get somebody's attention. Beauty is passing, of course, as you get older, your age starts to diminish, of course. But a woman who fears the Lord shall be praised. Charm is deceptive and beauty is passing. But a woman who fears the Lord shall be praised. Because there's more to life than beauty and charm. Bottom line, there is. You see more. You appreciate more when you lean on things that don't last. Then when it's done, or when you come to the end of it, there's nothing there, and that's sad for a lot of for women and men. That can go either way, especially if you count on that. If you count on your looks like a model, okay. She counts on her looks for to make her money, because she has to look good all the time. She has to. I mean, I've read about a lot of models who have turned a certain age and they get mad, upset because they can't get no more modeling gigs or whatever, and they can't because their age won't let them, or you're too old, you can't do this anymore. And ballerinas as well. I've known, I have read and some women who, were ballerinas like forever, but because of their age, they can't be, the prima ballerina anymore. They got to step down. It doesn't last forever. It's gonna stop at one point. It's gonna end, and then what do you have after that? What's there after that? But a woman who fears the Lord knows that there's things beyond what we can do that will last longer than our looks and our ability, or we can do. There's more. So seeing it in that light, then this should be praised, because again, she goes beyond of what she feels she can do, or how she looks like, or in that aspect. But again, you know what I mean. You know about that. I'm pretty sure you know what all that entails. Give her the fruits of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. Now that one was a little bit, I was still trying to understand that one. Give her the fruits of her hands. I should have looked up fruits. But, and let her own works praise her in the gates. I think it was in the New International Version. It says, reward her for all she has done, and let her deeds publicly declare her praise. So, in that one, I'm probably going to have to look further into that last sentence. But I just don't get the publicity, publicly declare her praise. The only way I can see that, like being it now in this generation, would be like, how it is on YouTube or on Facebook. You know how they show everything they do and everybody has comments and how great things are. Oh, that's the only way I can see it. But something I'm gonna look further into. I should have done that during the week, but this was it, and I hope you enjoyed this series as much as I did. Going through it, and again, like I said, I'm not going to be. I want to jump into John and then in the Epistles of Paul, but I don't want to be going through what I did with these. I mean, I don't want to go through every verse with the 3 different versions, because now you already know what to do. I was trying to show you, when you start reading the word, just don't rely on one version. Get into different versions so that you can get a better understanding of what you're reading. Commentaries are good, but again, commentaries is just that. They're comments from somebody else's perspective or somebody else's opinion. So I wouldn't really rely on those that much. Okay, but it's always good to read what other people have to say about what, how the scriptures touched their hearts, or what they thought the scriptures were telling them. And there's massive commentaries out there about, on each book or just a chapter alone. So you can always do that. You can always look up commentaries. They're helpful. Other than that, I felt like the Proverbs 31. I mean, it showed us how much we can do. It showed us the business side of things. It showed us the investment side of things. It showed us how to get up in the morning and get things going through, getting things done throughout the day, and not letting things distract us, and and going on without being excuse me, I'm sorry. And just keeping busy, and how to negotiate, and how to keep things looking out for bargains. I mean, there's a lot, and that, like I said, it's a lot in just that one chapter. So can you imagine when you're reading other books or other chapters, how much more you can learn from? How much more there's just so much that it can teach you. So like I said, it's great to get in there, jump in there, start reading your Bible. Like I said, do a few do your research, write things down. If you can, try to memorize scriptures. You don't have to do them right away. I mean, you don't have to try to memorize 50 or 60 scriptures. One a week. Like that, and just at your own pace. at your own pace. One thing I did another thing I wanted to touch on is that it just shows you how much you can do. And usually a person who doesn't have any ambition to want to do anything or want to get anything into anything, to me it's that's just a waste of time, and you have to me, if you want things to change in your life, you got to be creative. And that shows us also in there that she was creative. She created things, she sold things, and she sold to merchants, and and as such. So it just shows you that she wasn't an average girl. She wasn't an average daughter, because evidently she surpassed them all. Like he said, out of all the daughters, you surpassed them all. So she just wasn't an average person. She went beyond. So that's how I saw that, and that's how I feel with God. When you have Christ in your life, you're no longer an average person. You're more. You become more. And then you don't want to be average. That's just it. Average people just do the mundane things of life. They don't go any further than where they're at, and they kind of like stay stuck because they have no outer. They don't think outside the box. They're always like they're like trapped in the box, and they don't get they don't see beyond anything else. But once you become a child of God, you're a new creature. You're a new creature. You're not an average. You're beyond average. And like I said, in this day and age, you don't want to be average. You want to be more than just an average person. You want to go above and beyond. And when you're not an average person anymore, and you're with Christ, you're a new creation. He even tells you that you're above and not beneath. You're the head and not the tail. Isn't that telling you that you're more than just an average person? That's telling me that you're not average anymore. You're more. You're more than what you think. And because you have that, there's even more than that. You have something even extra than just being the average Joe. Because now, because Christ in you, now you have something even more special. You have power. And that power is, again, something that an average person doesn't have. Okay? They don't have that power. So you're not average anymore. You're a new creation. Okay? And with that new creation comes power. And you just have to learn how to do your research and find out what that power is, and how it can be used in your life, and how you can use it out. Okay? And I know how sometimes I feel like, when God says, "Oh, and greater works will you do, greater works than these will you do in my name." And I'm like, greater works than making the lame walk and healing the sick and raising the dead? We can do greater works than that? We must be like really, really, really lagging behind, because I haven't seen any, known of anybody doing that since Jesus' day. So greater works than these we're going to do? Oh, wow. That blows me away every time. What can be greater than what he did? And how can we get there? How can we tap into that? another reason why you have to do your research and find out what God allows you to do, what He doesn't allow you to do, and how to tap into that. And I know there's this phrase everybody talks about. Well, and don't get me wrong, I'm not going based on that. It's just a phrase. Out of the closet, when people come out of the closet. Well, with God, you're going into the closet. You're going into the closet because that's where you find Him. You find Him in the dark because He is the light in the dark. So if you would take a ComEd out of this world, all the electricity, no moon, no stars, no sun, this would be one cold, inhabitable planet. We wouldn't be able to live here. But because we have the sun, the stars, and the moon, and we have on Earth certain things, that's why we have what we have now that we take for granted. Light, heat, all these inventions. But if it wasn't for those things, we have those things. We have inspiration, we have innovation, we have people who because they thought of something, they put it into process of creating, and they made it become real. They made it work, and it took a lot of hard work. And that in itself, it says a lot. We're creators because we come from somebody who creates. He was a creator because He's a creator, so are we. We are just like our Father. So with that, I just want to let you know that you can don't be an average person. Be more, because God expects you to be more. He expects us He wants to see us do more, because He knows, because we're part of Him, He knows we are capable of doing more. So that's where I'm going to go further into detail. I mean, you probably even have the question about supernatural power, and I understand that. But supernatural power is something totally different than just power. Power is the strength, the things that you can do. So greater is He that is in me than he that is in the world. He gives us the ability to say, we can overcome things. Or in my weakness, He's my strength. That's that kind of power. In my weakness, I can count on Him because of His strength. I can do this, or I can do that. But supernatural power, it's a totally different thing, because that is where that you make the blind see, you make the dead come alive, and who knows what other things. But supernatural power is a whole different topic, that it takes a lot of discipline on your part to tap into that. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible. Yes, it is. It is. But there's a lot of things that you have to do that's not going to be that you're not going to be doing, that it's out of the ordinary. It's out of the ordinary, but because it's out of the ordinary, that's why you'll be able to move into that power. Okay, and it is supernatural power, but we'll get into that later, okay? Because it's just a lot to try to fit in all in one session. We'll get into that more. But again, you don't want to be average. You want to do more. You want to be more. And because of that, you're going to be blessed more, and you're going to be a blessing to others. So I hope you join me on our second round. Starting with, I'm not really sure what we're going to start. Let me pray about it. Let me see if I want to start in John or if I want to start with Paul. But I will let you know, and I'll see you back here and next week, and I'll lay out everything that I feel like how we should start moving into the Word with what book we're going to get into. Okay, so thank you for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed the series, and we will talk to you soon. Bye bye.